I'm Lori Matson, President and CEO of the Tri-City Regional Chamber. We're so pleased that you've joined us today as we officially launch the Regional Vision Project, MyTri2030, to our community. I'm totally thrilled that this day has finally arrived. February 27th, 2019, we won't think of the snow, marked this day when the community convened to begin a transformational journey to realize the collective future of the Tri-Cities. So, what is MyTri exactly? Who started it? How will it work? When will we see results? And how can you be involved? Our goal is that you leave here today with a clear understanding of this transformative project that will create opportunities for growth and inspire us to be greater than the sum of our distinct and independent parts. Simply defined, MyTri2030 creates a shared vision for the region and drives collaborative action. Although MyTri2030 is quite unique in its scope and community-driven roots, visioning efforts here are not new. The Tri-Cities is built upon a rich legacy of true visionaries. Over the decades, these visionaries were the catalysts for many of the game-changing factors that make the Tri-Cities region so special. Before we get into the details of MyTri, we'd like to share a special message from one of those visionary leaders, Mike Schwenk. Now retired, Mike is a longtime economic development professional and former chair of the Three Rivers Community Roundtable. Although Mike is currently enjoying retirement in Kauai, of all places, he's been a passionate member of the Chamber's Regional Affairs Committee. So let's listen to Mike's thoughts.
Morning, everybody. Sure wish I was with you. Actually, I don't. That's a lie. I'm delighted you're all getting together, though. A couple of messages for you this morning from me is that the vision thing, as President George Herbert Walker Bush once made famous, is a pretty important thing. Our community has been doing this for a long time, so it's not new, which is probably message number one for you. It goes all the way back actually to the 60s, the first economic downturn that the community was facing when a group of leaders got together and decided that they were going to fight back and help turn our community around. Momentum picked up in the 80s, again when our back was against the wall economically, and the community rallied once again to put together a vision for their future. And we've been doing it about every 10 years, so since the 80s, and we're due now. It's been a decade or so since the last one that we did around 2008 or 9, so it's time. So that's one reason I'm so delighted to be speaking to you, is to let you know that we've been here before. It's not new, but it's the right thing to be doing. Second message for you is that how you go about doing it is less important than doing it. In other words, we have not done it the same way twice after all these years and all these different visions that we've put together. So the current effort that is underway is one of the most impressive I've seen in terms of the engagement of the community and the breadth and depth of people involved. That's a great thing, and certainly a good model to follow. And so my hat is off to all of you for the extraordinary effort that's underway. And the final thing, and probably the most important of all I want to leave with you, is it works. And that's why it's so important you do it. It absolutely works. And just some simple examples. I mean, without the community visioning efforts, the National Laboratory and the Battelle Complex and DOE complex of buildings out there in North Richland wouldn't exist in our community. The branch campus system in our state and our branch campus and all that it's evolved into would not exist without the community visioning efforts and the extraordinary amount of time and hard work put in by our community and others to make all of that happen. dozens and dozens of miles of trails all interconnected around our riverfront, all came from community vision and people that could see things different and for the betterment. That we would be leaders in STEM education and actually develop and construct Delta High School. I mean, there are many, many things that have occurred in our community because we chose to have them occur. And so we chose to do them. We wanted them. And so my hat, again, is off to those who have preceded us, many of whom are no longer with us, but made these things happen, and we still enjoy them today. And what you are doing is going to repeat that yet one more time as you decide, here's what we want as a future for our community. And many, many, many generations of people will benefit from that. So congratulations, best of luck, and in spite of the background here, I'll be thinking about you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. He's been a great supporter of this effort. We believe the path to success and what makes MyTri2030 so special is the inclusive process and unprecedented engagement. The story of MyTri2030 began in June of 2015 when the Tri-City Regional Chamber Board approved the creation of a new committee, the Regional Affairs Committee. Over the course of the next 6 months, a group of diverse private sector business leaders were recruited to form the committee. The Regional Affairs Committee was chartered with providing leadership and a heightened understanding of opportunities and challenges facing our region. They set out to identify a process to facilitate creating a shared vision for our region. Since that time, this group of committed and passionate business leaders have invested countless hours to this project that we're bringing to the community today. We've been very deliberate and followed a long and thoughtful process. Please feel free to follow along. There's an information sheet in front of you on the back side there. A key factor of this project was selecting Pam Henderson and her amazing team at New Edge, a local yet nationally known strategy company, to facilitate a comprehensive grassroots information gathering and planning process. The Regional Affairs Committee sought out inspiration from the best-in-class models of visioning projects in communities across the United States. Based on the belief that engaging a broad array of Tri-Citians would serve to build strong community support, the MyTri team embarked on a comprehensive plan to engage stakeholder groups and the people of the region. Presentations were made to 22 stakeholder groups detailing the project and inviting support and engagement. Designed in partnership with New Edge, a community questionnaire was deployed. The questionnaire, supported by the promotional efforts of numerous regional partners from public, private, and nonprofit sectors, schools, educational institutions, social media experts, major employers, small business owners, libraries, faith-based organizations, healthcare providers, arts and cultural institutions, and many others, to make certain that residents from diverse backgrounds and all parts of our region were engaged in this process. Their collective efforts garnered more than 4,300 responses in both English and Spanish. The strong public appetite to help shape the future of the Tri-Cities was proven by this phenomenal response, and the level of engagement and input should be a source of pride for the region and serve as an enduring reminder that the Tri-Cities are passionate about the place they call home. In addition to facilitating the community engagement, New Edge reviewed and analyzed past regional development reports, much of the things Mike just spoke of, as well as current priorities, strategic plans, and projects of 15 local agencies and organizations. They also conducted over 100 hours of global, national, and regional research to identify trends of greatest impact and relevance to the Tri-Cities. For deeper insight, one-on-one interviews were conducted with a cross-section of Tri-City leaders. These in-depth interviews, paired with the questionnaire responses, have helped capture the core of who we are and what we want to become. Facilitated by New Edge, a 2-day Big Vision workshop was held, convening 28 stakeholder groups. And you can see by the list of these organizations involved: cities, ports, counties, chambers, school districts, higher ed, healthcare, economic development, and nonprofit. This project received unprecedented engagement. Community leaders came together in the spirit of collaboration, and a shared vision began to surface. Our MyTri efforts are strong because of this collaboration, and we're keenly focused on developing a powerful plan for our region's future, centered around a set of 6 big opportunity areas that our region is uniquely positioned to pursue. But before I turn this over to the next person to reveal these 6 opportunities, I would like to recognize all of the people that were responsible for getting us to this point. So first of all, I'd like to introduce our Regional Affairs Committee. They're all sitting up front here, both current and past members. These are some of the Tri-City's finest, a group of passionate and committed business leaders. I'd like to ask you to please stand and remain standing when I introduce you. Our current chair is Paula Lennon. We have Derek Stricker, Brett Spooner, Paul Carlisle, Kedrick Jackson, Steve Simmons, Michael Novakovich, David Lippis, Carl Adrian. Not able to join us today are past chairs Ron Boninger and Greg McConnell, as well as members Bob Tippett, Mike Schwank, Chris Beyer, and Dave McCormack. So please give these visionary leaders a round of applause, and please stay standing. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure working with all of you. Next, I'd like to thank our founders. Founder sponsorship is exclusive to 8 entities whose early investments demonstrated faith and provided the opportunity for the project leaders to embark upon this endeavor. The MyTri founders are Battelle, Hapo Community Credit Union, Bechtel, AECom, Cadlec, Cascade Natural Gas, New Edge, and the Tri-City Regional Chamber. So I'd like anyone here representing these organizations from our founder sponsors to please stand and also remain standing. So all of our founders and representatives, stand please. Thank you so much. Again, this project would not be what it is if you wouldn't have believed in us early on. Next, I'd like to recognize our stakeholder groups and all those who spent 2 days putting real ideas on paper. If you personally attended the Big Vision workshop, or if you're representing one of those 28 stakeholder groups that were just shown, please stand and remain standing. We should have a lot of you here today. All of our cities, counties, ports, colleges, school districts, economic development organizations, Leadership Tri-Cities, you saw the names, the other Pasco Chamber, West Richland Chamber, Hispanic Chamber, Workforce Development Council. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Please stay standing. I'd like you all to please stay standing. Sorry. I'd like to also thank and recognize the Tri-City Regional Chamber's Board of Directors, current and past. As we mentioned, this project was kicked off in 2015. I'd like to thank them for their steady support and belief in this project, allocating a great deal of resources to drive this project to fruition. So, Tri-City Regional Chamber Board and past board, please stand and remain standing, all of you. Thank you so much. Look at that. All right, next I'd like to recognize our chamber staff. And in particularly, I'd like to recognize Stephanie Swanberg, our Government and Regional Affairs Director. Stephanie, will you come join me on stage, please? Stephanie's personal passion for this project has been instrumental in getting us where we are today. So Stephanie, come on up. But in the meantime, recognize all of our staff. They're all busy working, so they're not really standing. But our staff has worked countless hours, and especially this lady right here. So let's in particularly give Stephanie a huge round of applause. Come on up here. Here, just up here with me. I'll feel better if I have company up here. All right, next, I'd like to recognize i3 Global, MyTri2030 media partner, and you're going to see some of their great work in the next few minutes. They're over there in the corner. Please stand. You guys have been wonderful to work with. Thank you so much. No one's sitting down yet, are you? All right. In a few minutes, you're going to see some videos highlighting our 6 big opportunities in which 13 community leaders were our video stars. So I'd like to ask those people, I think most of them are here today, if our video stars would please stand. Thank you so much for your time and energy and helping us today. You're a big part of our show. All right, this is where it gets really good. As I mentioned, more than 4,300 people, mostly because of this lady right here, took the community questionnaire and or helped spread the word through their organizations and on social media. So if you answered the questionnaire or you helped in the promotion of the community questionnaire in any way, please stand. All of you who took the community questionnaire, this was last March, April, May. Look at this. All right, stand. I mean, I think pretty much everybody's standing, right? All right, so if you took the questionnaire. All right, well, if you're sitting there wondering why you're not standing, I want you all to stand as well because today we're launching the next phase of MyTri2030, and you're all a big part of this. So everyone, please stand. Give yourselves, the Tri-Cities region, a huge round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, you can sit and enjoy your salads. Transforming the region is an ambitious goal. All of us share interest and responsibility for our success. I cannot put into words the passion and pride I have for this project and all of you from this community. Thank you so much for your part in shaping the future of our region. I'd like to next welcome Derek Stricker, the Regional Chamber's current board chair and a member of the Regional Affairs Committee since day one. Derek also was instrumental in writing the charter for this committee. Remember those days back in 2015? So Derek is coming up to help reveal the 6 big opportunities for regional collaboration. Derek. All right, I'm taking my water.
Oh, you got your own water? Okay. I'll bring more. Cool. Thank you, Lori. All right, let me get this in my spot. After connecting with more than 4,500 Tri-Citians, the Regional Affairs Committee noticed 2 central themes. 1, immense pride in our region's achievements over the past decade. And 2, a noticeable fever from the community members for new goals and opportunities through regional collaboration. With a better understanding of the region's strengths, challenges, and desires, and through unprecedented community engagement, 6 opportunity areas for the community collaboration have finally emerged. They will serve as a framework for the next phase of this journey. It's a journey we will continue to inform and involve the community in. You now know the comprehensive process that Lori just described, but we've been through the last several years. That was followed by to coalesce, to unify, to get behind these 6 big opportunities. We know this is why you drove out and bared the snow or whatever snow is out there. You're here, so thank you, but this is why we're here. We know the anticipation has been the driving force for the support of MyTri. We are eager to make this public and want to help you define what our future is. So, with that, finally, the first area of opportunity for community collaboration is, I'm going to get a little drum roll going for this one, education. We have a unique opportunity to deliver new and transformative educational experiences. Here to introduce this opportunity area is Paul Carlisle, a member of the Regional Affairs Committee and founder of Elevate, an IT solutions company in Richland, Washington. Come help Paul come up here with a round of applause.
Appreciate that intro, Derek. Unfortunately, the education opportunity area is on a 2-hour delay today, so I'm just kidding, but sort of kidding. I have 2 young ones, and I'm in the thick of that K-12 experience right now. In all of the opportunities that they have and the great people they have to work with, but I'm also in a position where I see the room that we have to grow. You see, my kids, when they leave in the morning, they're worried about having a lunch in their backpack and their homework done. But as parents, we're really focused on whether or not the educational opportunities in this area for our children are what we need. And if we can't find them in this community, we'll find them in another community. Once my kids are safe and engaged in school, I hop over to work where I work with other business owners to solve problems in their business. And always, one of the topics of conversation that comes up is employee development and recruitment. You see, when business owners look to succeed in this community, they have to succeed by involving and moving their business forward, or they grow stale and they die. In order to do that, they have to have employees who are developing themselves through educational opportunities as adults. If those employees can't find those opportunities here in this community, if those businesses can't find those employees who are growing themselves through educational opportunities, they find them in another community. At the end of the day, I pack my things up at work and I drive to our local WSU Tri-Cities. Go Cougs! where I get to see firsthand the struggles and the successes of our local campus at large, but also in my classroom, where students grapple with taking the educational knowledge that they've been building throughout their career and translate it into entrepreneurship and small business, where they're most likely to find employment. You see, if those students can't find an opportunity in this community to engage, they'll find it in another community. Now, I'm not unique in that education touches nearly every hour of my life. I would invite you to look through your life and your average day, and I think you'll find it's very similar. You'll find that, as I do, in my very best efforts to develop and advocate for my family, for my business, and for the community, I'm operating as a lone soldier, and it's a scattered and individual effort. That's why I'm so excited today to see this many Tri-Citizens together. Representatives from research, from higher ed, from STEM and trade schools, from nonprofits and industries. And I believe with the group of unique people we have in this community and together today, together we can work to create unique, transformative, and educational experiences right here in our community, right here in MyTRI. So now I'd like to invite you to share with me a video that has been created of some of our educational leaders here in town and their passion for this project.
It can encompass so many different things. It can be formal education, whether you're in a K-12 or a community college or a university. It can be informal, whether that's something that you're learning outside of the classroom. It can be on-the-job training. It can be something you're getting through an apprenticeship. Education is lifelong learning.
I was a first-generation college student. I come from a very blue-collar family. I was encouraged to go to school by only one person in my family, and that was my grandmother. And she only had an 8th grade education, but she realized the value of education to improving someone's life, someone's, of course, economic background, but also improving their health, their ability to function in the world, and she was the one who encouraged me to move forward.
The future of education in the Tri-Cities is very promising. We are working together collaboratively as partners, all educational entities, whether that's K-12, community college, or universities. We want to make sure that we are creating seamless pathways into all of our institutions and between them. We don't want our students to be wasting time and money as they're going between us. We want to make sure that all of them are successful.
The Tri-Cities is one of the fastest growing regions in the country, yet our local employers struggle to fill all of the spots that are needed to drive that growth. MyTri2030 can bring us together to help think about big solutions to closing the skills gap and to help young people to really achieve their full potential and to drive our economy. This might be the blooper reel. How much time do we have?
Define education.
Yeah, you can define it.
Oh, wow, okay, that was not a prompt I was given.
That's like a philosopher could sit around on the beach all day to try to figure out what is education. I'm sure that I could Google it. Could you Google it?
Can I go Cougs?
You go good.
Did you get that?
What a great video, and thank you, Paul, for introducing us on that part. I'm excited to see what specific initiatives can be launched out of this opportunity over the next few months. Through community collaboration and unity, education in Tri-Cities will change in ways we never thought possible until literally right now. All right, so first one, education. Next opportunity is, Jesse, can I get some drum roll over here? No, I'm not. I'm gonna get my own drum roll. Number 2 is prosperity. We have an opportunity to fuel the economy through entrepreneurism and new business. Here to present on prosperity is Brett Spooner, a member of the Regional Affairs Committee and also founder and CEO of Gravis Law. Please welcome Brett.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks, Derek. So, good afternoon, everybody. It's been a real pleasure to serve on the Regional Affairs Committee and the MyTri2030 project. I look around the room and see a ton of organizations and small business working to increase prosperity, economic development, and this community. And, you know, when we think back to the history of the Tri-Cities, we have deep roots in science, and our heritage with the Manhattan Project has left us really well positioned to take advantage of this technology to improve the economic climate of the Tri-Cities. Not only that, we already have this amazing foundation, many of you in this room, working and aligning to collaborate to increase the economic opportunities within the community. And I believe with everybody together and aligned on this project, we're going to be able to create a true startup community and entrepreneurial ecosystem. We really need to focus on how to stay competitive, as we've heard on the education section about skilled workforce. We need to figure out how to retain our millennial talent. And that means business owners thinking about how to create not just great businesses, but a great community that will actually sustain and maintain and attract that talent to the Tri-Cities. I'm really excited to see where we're going to take this over the next 10 years. I haven't been more excited to be a part of the Tri-Cities, to be a part of the economic development initiative, and to really figure out how we can take all of our collective energy and make financial, business, and community impact through our effort. So we have a video here with Ron Boninger and Eric Ralston, two people out in the community right now, like many of you, making an impact and making prosperity happen. Thank you.
I define prosperity as people all being able to share in the economy that's developed within communities in a way that it creates jobs and opportunities for many people, but it also creates opportunities for culture, for art, for having great sports, for having great community activities. So prosperity really goes across both economic and cultural bounds.
Prosperity is important to me because even though we're an emerging community, we're working in a global market. And even though the US government has very generously provided the backbone for our community in the last century, the next century is going to be defined by self-directed entrepreneurial work right in our own backyard.
There's a foundation here that's been created through the lab, through the work at the site, through agriculture and ag tech, through the community colleges and the university that we have here. And that's laid this opportunity for people that know how to start up businesses to find opportunities to do so, to find people that know how to do it that can support them as mentors, to find opportunities within those techs and those industries to create new businesses. So what we have to do here in the Tri-Cities, and this is what MyTri2030 is doing, is trying to bring everyone together so that they understand the resources and the effort and what it needs to be done in order to create these future successful businesses for our community.
The Pacific Northwest has a unique technology ecosystem in which we have yet to even start to play a part. There's more money and opportunity flowing through the world of technology now than ever, and that work could be done anywhere. It's not just that we're in the same time zone, it's that we're in the same state as one of the most valuable technology companies in the world. And as a point of, as a nexus of possibility for Tri-Cities to join that global economy, now is our time more so than ever to seize that.
I kind of messed that up.
That's not a great ending, but whatever.
Yeah, I'll prompt you again.
Yeah, you can edit this any way you, I mean, I get a chance to look at it, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, real quick.
Maybe.
See my card?
Okay.
Okay, I'm running out of whatever brain chemical. Can we take a 2-minute break?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Brett. Fueling prosperity through strong businesses and entrepreneurialism will build a foundation greater and drive TC economy to way new heights. It's exciting to think about the future and all the possibilities that come through prosperity that we'll bring in this sector. Which brings us to the next opportunity area, which is, drum roll this time? Hey, I like that. Inclusion. We have the potential. I'll clap first. We have the potential to champion diversity through intentional inclusion of all. Here to tee up this inclusion opportunity is Paula Lennon. She serves as the chair for the Regional Affairs Committee and also the Executive Director of External Affairs at PNNL. Please welcome.
Have you guys, wait a minute, turn around. Have you seen his shoes? Talk about diversity.
Yeah, red, white, and blue.
Nice shoes, although, Derek, you need to talk to Carl Adrian because he did whisper in my ear that you may be the only one he knows that shops for shoes at a bowling alley. I'm just saying. You can attribute that to Carl. Thanks, Carl. So Derek mentioned this earlier, but I would have to say that as we reflected on the questionnaire results, one of the themes that emerged was the enormous pride that people take in the Tri-Cities, and that's really been wonderful. And also a note about the growth that's occurred and the value and benefits of that growth, and that's also been pretty remarkable. People are really pleased that we've been able to keep this small town feel all while we're in this growth mode, and that clearly is something that is always part of the discussion. With that growth comes a growth in diversity. And when we talk about diversity, we recognize that diversity is really, it's just a fact. We have a very diverse population. That is a fact. But when you start talking about inclusion, inclusion is a very different thing. It's not so much a fact as it is a choice. It's a way of being. And that's what this particular opportunity area is about. Inclusion involves working together, unifying diverse forces and resources in a very beneficial way. And I will just have to say that inclusion to me very much moves the needle from knowing someone to being connected with someone. It's really understanding other people and connecting with them on some level, not just knowing about them. And that's really at the crux of what this is talking about. So an environment in which we can all share riches of ideas, of backgrounds, perspectives, and so forth, all to support and really grow our community is really the great kind of world that we want. So why did this particular area emerge? Well, it emerged because of the responses that we got in the questionnaire and as we talked to our stakeholder groups and leaders throughout the community. Let me share just a few comments from that survey. Quote, my favorite thing about the Tri-Cities is the diversity of people, the activities and worldviews. I love that. We have a thriving Latino, Russian, Deaf, and other cultures that have left their stamp on their community, and that's very valuable. When we asked what would be game-changing, what things could the region do, we had so many responses, but among them, people said, I would really like, quote, I would really like to see the Tri-Cities as a whole be more accepting of our diverse population, a commitment outside of ourselves for the greater good, and one for future generations. You can hear the inspiration in that. A community that embraces individual authenticity and cultural diversity, where people are not at all ever subject to hate or fear in any way, shape, or form. A diverse community that includes cultures and professions who offer a variety of skills and experiences to make the region bigger, bolder, and better. We all have our definitions of diversity. We all have our definitions of inclusion. And as we work through the plan for this particular area, we're really reaching out for the views of experts. I'd like for you to listen to a couple of inclusion experts who have this to say about this particular opportunity area, which is amplifying inclusion.
inclusion to me, there's so many different definitions that are out there, but I think if you want to get practical about it, recently somebody said to me, it's all about the numbers. When we look at the averages and we look at folks that go through that existing pathway from education to job and workforce, we have to think about people in the underserved populations, the folks that have barriers, because when you remove that entire subset of people, we're not on a cusp of doing something greatness. We're losing those folks. We're not optimizing our collective energy as a community. And to me, that's why inclusion isn't about who people are and who people aren't, but how we can bring ourselves together and really do excellent work together.
Inclusion is important to me personally because I know how terrific it feels when I am able to connect with someone. And I know that when I'm able to break through whatever my preconceived notions about a person are, and I'm actually able to connect with them, I find out that we usually have a lot more in common than I might have thought at the get-go.
Inclusion in the Tri-Cities is very interesting because we have so many different native languages spoken, we have so many folks from different backgrounds, ideals, that we are really that area where you could push folks together and figure out how to do things and be an example to the rest of the nation.
I think there is huge potential, but because individuals have been existing in silos here for such a long time, they haven't had the opportunity to find out that, ooh, I actually have something in common with this neighbor or this person who I brush up against when I'm at the supermarket. Once people are able to actually lower some of those walls that they may have put up, they will actually find out so many things that they didn't know about their neighbors, their colleagues. And once we're able to do that, so much innovation, so much creativity can take place, and the world is really our oyster.
Can you talk?
Sure, I can just talk, no problem.
So you just
I will let it, yeah, no, that's good, that's good.
All right, cool. That's a wrap, thanks.
Yeah, I told you it wasn't not 45 minutes.
Thank you, Paula. Amplifying inclusion is the secret sauce to the warm and welcoming community that Tri-City is. Inclusion magnifies goodness, propels greatness, and allows our region to flourish and thrive. So the next opportunity now with the drumline of my people and maybe Jesse could be agriculture. We have the Foundation to Advance Tri-Cities region as a global epicenter of agriculture. And here to introduce that is Carl Adrian, member of the Regional Affairs Committee and CEO of TriDec. Welcome, Carl.
Just for the record, Derek, Steve Simmons started the stuff about your shoes. Just. We go bowling together. So I'd like to begin by paraphrasing a couple comments about agriculture that were received in the community questionnaire. And if the author's here, raise your hand if we got one of yours. First one, the greatest assets of the Tri-Cities are the weather, the landscape, the dry heat, the rivers, the low cost of living, and we're an agricultural powerhouse. Another quote, I appreciate how the Tri-Cities continues to diversify, but also remains committed to its roots. I love that agricultural operations, some that have been owned by the same family for generations, surround us, and that we get to taste fresh what our region produces. I think it's awesome that you can still buy from your local farmer here. Agriculture really is central to the economy of the Tri-Cities and Eastern Washington. It brought settlement to the Columbia Basin. It's why we're here today. Agriculture is our heritage. Our food processing industry depends on agriculture. Food, spirits, agriculture are stable economic drivers and provide a resilience to the local economy. At peak times of the year, together, agriculture and food processing employ as many as 27,000 people in Benton and Franklin counties. It's why people come to the region to visit our wineries, breweries, and food festivals. It's why the Tri-Cities is the frozen French fry capital of the world, thanks to Lamb Weston and companies like Preferred Freezer. It's no secret that science and technology are rapidly joining forces with agriculture. The Tri-Cities possesses the foundation to advance the region as a global leader in agriculture and innovation. Some might say we're already there, but if we are, let's take it to the next level. We already have centers of excellence in bioproducts and wine, with the Bioproduct Science and Engineering Lab and Wine Science Center at WSU Tri-Cities, the strong agricultural programs at Columbia Basin College, and the WSU Ag Research Center in Prosser. We can create new centers of excellence to draw talent, to develop and deploy new technology. It makes no better sense to play on our strengths and elevate the region as a global leader in agriculture and innovation. I've got one more quote. Bring the tech industry and agriculture together. Now, you've all seen the drill. Somebody speaks, you get to see a video next. We've got a couple experts here to talk about agriculture and the possibilities. Thank you.
Agriculture is farming. A lot of folks look at it as food. It's what we put into our bodies every day to sustain, to have a joyful life. It provides the resource for families and friends coming together to celebrate. Agriculture is huge in the Tri-Cities community.
So agriculture is important to me on a personal level because I'm kind of carrying on a family legacy. Both my grandpas were farmers, my parents were farmers, and so I'm carrying on that legacy, and it's important to me kind of to connect with them. My son's also going to be is a farmer, so it's carrying on beyond me also.
The future of agriculture in the Tri-Cities area, I think, is larger than we can even imagine. With the advancement in technology, I think that it's going to take us further than we can even possibly think when it comes to an ag standpoint. We have so many competing factors today when it comes to what Mother Nature gives us, whether it's an early spring or a harsh winter, that technology can help us figure out solutions for how we can still advance in agriculture. So the future for agriculture in the Tri-Cities is extremely bright.
Well, so this area, this Tri-City area is an area of agriculture that has grown a lot in the last couple generations. We have so many things going for us in this area. We have a stable water supply with the Columbia River coming through. We have a great climate. We have a long growing season that allows us to grow a lot of different crops. And so, you know, this area is just positioned well to be you know, a real strong force in the ag industry going forward.
Agriculture, what word am I looking for? Throw a word out, people in the background. Was there a fly there? Did you just kill a fly right in front of my face?
I didn't have my chopsticks.
Thank you, Carl. With agriculture as a key opportunity area, the region can advance in this global epicenter of agriculture for the future of our community. And the next opportunity for us, with the drum roll of the crowd and a little bit of Jesse on the side, with a drum roll for our next opportunity to be Thriving Life. We have the opportunity to create a thriving life quality for all Tri-Citians. Our resident life expert, Michael Novakovich, a member of the Regional Affairs Committee and also the CEO of Visit Tri-Cities, is here to announce the Thriving Life opportunity. Please welcome Michael.
Well, thank you, Derek. Thriving Life, I'm excited about this. I hope you're excited about this too. Thriving Life is more than our 300 days of glorious sunshine. Well, at least we're hoping it is today. Creating an even more vibrant and thriving Tri-Cities is at the heart of the quality of life that you and I get to enjoy every day. And as our community has grown, so have the amenities that you and I get to enjoy, which is good news. Yet I hear time and again, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with this, that you'll hear from people that there's nothing to do and there's nowhere to eat. And while I don't buy into that narrative, imagine what we could look like in 11 years by the year 2030 if we were very intentionally pursuing thriving life here in the Tri-Cities. We could have a wealth of foodie and craft beverage options. Maybe it's nightlife, culture, the arts. It could be an abundance of new recreational opportunities, boutique shopping, festivals, family activities, attractions, amenities, and maybe, just maybe, it happens along our shorelines. When you think of thriving life and the quality of life it provides, think of multi-generational benefit. We have a real need in our community to retain young talent and attract young talent. They are our future workforce. One of the survey respondents recognized that we have baby boomers that are leaving the workforce and we need to backfill it. Yet that's a significant challenge for us as young individuals graduate from high school or college, or maybe they go away to college. They leave our community or they don't come back as they don't see the Tri-Cities as having the quality of life they're after. That also makes it a significant challenge to recruit young individuals. These individuals are looking for things like walkable communities, a thriving nightlife, art, culture, a bustling local restaurant scene. Young families are looking for great activities for mom, dad, and the kiddos. More mature individuals, and I'm thinking about people like myself or maybe even Carl Adrian or somewhere in between the two of us here. We're looking for the same sorts of things, right? We're looking for great entertainment. We're looking for food options. We're looking for great culture in these outdoor recreational activities and beyond. And so are active retirees. We're all looking for thriving life. We're looking for enhanced livability. It attracts us to communities. It keeps us in communities. It encourages us to invest our time, talent, and resources in communities. And investing our hard-earned dollars in our communities. Those dollars stay local when we have great opportunities and amenities and attractions for all of us to enjoy. Additionally, it helps foster new business investment. So think about jobs, but also more amenities for you and I to enjoy. And as mentioned, it helps us attract talent. If you've ever thought to yourself, the Tri-Cities could be an amazing place if we had fill in the blank, whatever that might be, embracing thriving life is your opportunity to make meaningful impact. And we've got a couple of friends who provided their thoughts on thriving lives. So at this time, I encourage you to turn your attention towards the screens.
Quality of life is a pretty broad, all-encompassing term, but for me it's really the idea of what do we do outside of our routine lives, outside of our workday. When we come home from work, when the weekend hits, we want to go out, we want to enjoy ourselves, we want to build community, share time with family and friends, have a quality bite to eat, maybe go see a show. It's a pretty broad area, but for me it's important because why else would you make a particular community your home?
I'm born and raised here in Tri-Cities. I raised my family here and I've seen the growth, and everything that I see has been to the positive. We've got more activities, more restaurants, more things to do, access to things. You don't have to leave town to go and do certain things. This is my roots. This will be my home forever. Southeastern Washington, Tri-Cities. It's such a wonderful place to raise a family, to grow up, to grow old, all of those things.
It's a list, it's a litany of things. It is diverse dining and entertainment options. It is a vibrant array of arts offerings. Seeing a concert, seeing a show, or a recital. Outdoors activities, hiking, biking, water sports. And it's a lot of, we need more of this. We need more urban walkable communities. We need more public spaces. We need more public gathering spaces where we can come together, and we need more access, more amenities along our beautiful miles and miles of waterfront.
Well, I think when I was younger, and even when I was, a little bit older, there was limitations on the things that happened here. You had to go to a bigger city for shopping. You had to go to a bigger city for a nice high-end restaurant. And now we've got the wineries and the restaurants and the shopping and all the different things. I think the world of this area, and I want more people to experience it.
I can talk higher!
Thank you, Michael. I mean, imagine Tri-Cities in 11 years in 2030. Abundant amenities, all the things we just listed off there. You visually were out doing stuff right now, you can see it. And now we're all here talking about it, and we're going to go do it. So these are the day-to-day things that create a thriving life in Tri-Cities, and can't wait to see what comes from this opportunity in a few months. And the last, but not least, opportunity area with the drum roll of my people and Jesse is energy. We have an opportunity to optimize our abundant natural resources to become a world leader in energy innovation. Let's clap that real fast. Steve Simmons, member of the Regional Affairs Committee and co-owner of the CG Public House, is with us here today to share energy and the critical opportunity we have and what boundless potential is ahead of us. Steve?
I love the Tri-Cities. How do you feel about that? Yeah. And it's my pleasure to be on the Regional Affairs Committee. I am just stoked about our possibilities. There's no subject that gets more discussion than energy, both in our own state, our nation, and worldwide. I couldn't write remarks that were more compelling than a response that we got on one of those 4,500 questionnaires that were filled out a little less than a year ago. Here is what this lady said. The Tri-Cities is uniquely positioned to become the clean energy development center for the planet. We have all the components for R&D and vast tracts of real estate needed for building manufacturing centers. We need our communities to work in agreement and in synergy to enhance the existing negative of our, I said negative, I meant narrative, existing narrative of our region's historical contribution to humanity. We developed a bomb that was instrumental in ending a war. For that we should be proud. However, the narrative for our future contribution to humanity can be so much more exciting and meaningful. We can create ways to save our planet and power the world by developing and exporting new clean energy technologies to all countries. Our greatest strengths are in the natural and human resources of our region. Wind to develop turbine energy technologies, water to develop hydro energy technologies, sun to develop solar energy technologies, and nuclear know-how to develop atomic energy technologies. I challenge you to find any other region on the face of the globe that can compare with the natural and human resources of the Tri-Cities region as it relates to our potential to lead the world in clean energy development. The Tri-Cities has the potential to be legendary. What we need is for the movers, shakers, dreamers, doers, and rainmakers of our communities to make this vision their own and to put in place a plan to make this vision become a reality. Clean energy development is our future. Clean energy development will be one of the greatest needs across the globe. I would love for this vision to become a reality in my lifetime. I actually dreamed about this dream over 4 years ago. I saw the campus of WSU with a pavilion where a global energy summit was taking place. And the R&D was happening at the university with teams of students from around the world. Our greatest strengths could one day have a global legacy. That's a narrative our children can benefit from and a contribution to humanity that everyone can be proud of. What do you think? Can we be legendary? Yeah. Cue the video.
When we talk about energy in the Tri-Cities, we have a whole host of resources here. That includes hydropower, nuclear energy, we've got solar, we've got wind. It's all right here. We've got resources that go beyond world class in technology and research.
Personally, it's my livelihood, so I'd be remiss in saying that it wasn't too important if I didn't work in the business. So I've been in the business for 26 years. It's created my life, essentially, and it's been a great career opportunity for me. It's created jobs and value for a lot of people, and that's the life I've lived for the last 26 years. And so it's been an important part of my life, my family, and all of the employees that we work with. It's been part of their lives, and it sustains us.
So I view Tri-Cities as the hub of a wheel with many spokes. And for our energy future, we've got all sorts of emerging technologies that need to be addressed. You know, it's all about emerging technologies. It's all about clean, sustainable energy for our future.
Well, when you look at an area such as ours, nearly 300,000 people in our MSA, just imagine how much energy is needed to fuel our world on a daily basis. Energy has driven life, essentially. I take it for granted on a daily basis, and I work in the industry, and I think that's one thing to remember is it's here, it's abundant, but let's not forget it.
Boo!
Smile.
I'll try.
Okay. We'll try to remind you.
She's gonna be in the background, kind of doing.
I thought that was a beer. It's like, we celebrate first thing in the morning. It's a little early, but.
Get a little more mobile. Hey, thank you, Steve. I'm gonna say it. Do you feel the energy? Right? I mean, I know I do. I think we can. Yeah. We have an opportunity right here in Tri-Cities to become the world leader in energy, and we just saw a part of that opportunity. But we just saw all 6. Our region's uniquely positioned to pursue all these opportunities, these 6. As we amplify ourselves collectively, we can achieve these big things together and our desires. So with that, it is our future. It's Tri-Cities' future. It's our time. So whose try is it? It's, our try. We can define this. It's your try. It's their try. It's, whose try kind of thing. And it's whose try. If I say whose try, you're going to say my try. We're going to do this. Whose try? Whose try? One more whose try? All right, I like it. The time has come, the time is here, and the time is now. With your help, MyTri2030 creates a shared vision and drives collaboration into action. So on that note, I want to welcome back Paul Lennon back on stage to introduce Phase 2 of MyTri2030. Thank you.
Tough to follow a cheerleader. Wow, that's great. So I'll just start by saying that I love a big, hairy, audacious goal. I like something that is bold and compelling, something that creates a little bit of tension, maybe creates a little bit of angst, something that really inspires people to want to be a part of it, something that is big, something that is transformational. I love a big, hairy, audacious goal. I think it has motivated people around the world. And that is why I'm part of this effort, and that is why I'm here today talking with all of you. As Lori described earlier, she went through the process that we've gone through, including everything related to the first phase of our visioning effort. We did the research. We engaged so many people, both in this room and really across the community. We talked to so many stakeholder groups, got so many responses, thousands and thousands of responses and ideas. We have labored so hard to understand what's important to this community. That was a critical part of this first phase. So as a result of that, we gathered all of that information and we coalesced around a few opportunity areas. And those are the 6 opportunity areas that you just heard about. 6 big, hairy, audacious opportunity areas. And so it begs the question, what's the next step? Well, the next step is that we absolutely have to have a plan and a level of specificity that helps us reach that point. And if you just close your eyes for just a moment and think about a plan that would create the future that we're looking for, a future where we could all say in 2030, we can all say we are, in fact, a global epicenter of agricultural advancement. We are a people and a community that are known for our intentional inclusiveness. We are fueling our economy through entrepreneurial and business opportunities. We have abundant resources, and we've optimized those resources in such a way that we have become leaders in energy innovation like no other community. We are enjoying a vibrant and thriving quality of life right here in the Tri-Cities. And finally, we are transforming education by offering extraordinary experiences for all. Is that a community that you want to be a part of? That's the question. Is it? So if it is, in fact, we have such a deal for you because this is where you come back into play with us. The next phase of our journey, as I mentioned, is to really get to a level of specificity, projects, actions that will help bring life to these opportunity areas. That requires some work, it requires some experience, it requires subject matter expertise, and it requires some insight. So we're repeating that ever important step of constantly going back to the community and saying, okay, we've done our homework on this phase, now we're moving to the next phase and we need your help today. And so starting today, we're opening up again a 60-day survey. And if you take a look at your tables, you'll see that on the piece of paper where Lori covered the process on one side, if you flip it over, you'll see on the other side that there is the MyTri2030 website, okay? So we're gonna open this up for another 60 days, a survey. And this survey, this time, what we want is your help to identify a couple of critical areas. The first is we'd like for you to identify people who have the expertise and influence in each of these opportunity areas to help our planning and our thinking and to help move us along in these areas. The second is that we want you to talk about the organizations that are already engaged in these areas. Perhaps there's some that we've forgotten about. There are many that we've talked to, but we need your help in making sure, again, that we are being inclusive. What are the stakeholders that perhaps already have resources that they devoted to these areas? So that's the second area. And then third, and I've talked to many people in this room earlier today who were already recommending projects and initiatives. That's what we want. We want to know about projects and initiatives that are already underway that could benefit from some additional attention. We do not want to duplicate the great work that's already been done, but rather we want to figure out ways to accelerate the great work that's been done, where we come together as a community and throw some additional effort behind it. So those are our ask of you, those 3 areas: people, organizations, and projects. And I will say in a lot of our workshops, we did brainstorm about a number of projects and initiatives. What we want to do is to be careful about the process. As you engage people, the table gets bigger and rounder, and that means that it takes a bit more time, but it also ensures commitment to the outcomes that we're looking at. And so that's important to us. So that is job 1 for all of you in this room over the next 60 days, to sign on to that survey and tell us what we need to know to help ensure that we have the key information and people to complete this next phase. So I would say that if you don't have to happen to be online survey people, and we hope that you are, but if you're not, There's also another way to do that. Some people have been passing around cards to all of the tables. You can actually use those cards and fill that out today or at least very soon. And as you're leaving the room, you can drop them in boxes if you already have some ideas. But again, online or with that card, we want to hear from you. It's really, really important that we hear from you. I'll also note that we do have a couple of 3 MyTri public information meetings, all of which are scheduled to occur in March. This will help ensure outreach, again, to as many people as possible from a broad, as a range of people as possible. I would mention that all of this information that we're talking about today and more is available on the MyTri2030 Facebook page. And in fact, I would just love it if you would all take a moment, pull out your phones, go to Facebook and look at the MyTri2030 page right now. Please, 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 some of you do that. I know you all have phones. Also, on your table, you'll see that there is a lapel pin. And if you just take a moment to take that out, put it on. We all want you to be advocates and wear it with pride. That would be great. So just by anybody raising a hand, are you on it yet? Please get on that Facebook page. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what I would love for you to do is to like that Facebook page. Like it. Right now. Right now, Derek, thanks for the straight thing. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. While you're doing that, oh, I love the clock. While you're doing that, I'm going to keep repeating the reactions. We want you to fill out the survey, people, organizations, and projects. We want you to visit and like us on Facebook. And we want you to wear the lapel pin. Pin, the lapel pin, yes. It's on your table. If you'll do this for us, what I can do is rest assured that the Regional Affairs Committee will in fact be accountable to you for all of these areas we're asking for your help on. We will once again take the information that you're providing to us to help inform our planning process and to select the right people for these committees that we're working on so that we can come back to you in a fairly short amount of time, the next 6 months or so, by the end of this year, to give you an update on where we are. That is our goal. This is a extraordinarily involved, sometimes messy process, but we are dedicated to making sure that you are included in it and that you continue to inform it along the way. So this is the next big phase. The third phase is implementation, and that phase will start later this year. So with that, I'm going to ask for a little help with this podium. And I'm going to just say that lest you need a little bit more inspiration, we've invited some special guests to be with us today. You kind of see them gathering in the back of the room. This is a group that is not only inspiring, but is also the future of the Tri-Cities. And I say that because as we reflected on the questionnaire responses, 25% of our responses came from the demographic, the age demographic that's about to come up here on stage. And I think that's just remarkable. This is the future of the Tri-Cities. So everyone, I hope, are we okay on the podium? Okay. Please extend a very warm welcome to the Tri-Cities Youth Choir Group, Forte. They have a very inspiring message for us. Come on. So big thank you to the Tri-Cities Youth Choir Forte. They just remarkable job. They have been so passionate and excited about this, and we really appreciate them taking the time to come here. There's a pamphlet on your table, by the way, about this group and how you can get in touch with them and also some of their shows, so please take that home with you. I'd also like to thank Vintage Tri-Cities and Visit Tri-Cities for the historic photos that you all have been seeing as Forte sang for us. That was really quite a treat. When we started going through those, it really is quite compelling. You can see all that's been done in the Tri-Cities over the years. So finally, I just want to extend my personal thanks to all of you. I want to ask you to continue to be engaged and involved. I really hope that you'll provide us the feedback that we need to make sure that we have a high quality, inclusive process all along the way. We are committed to coming back and telling you what the next phase, what the plans are, the actual implementation plan for this, which we can only do as we move through this next phase. Thanks so much for your participation. I hope that you will share this passion. If people have questions, you can refer them to the site, you can refer them to the public meetings, you can refer them to any one of my fellow RAC members. Thanks to Lori Matson for her leadership on this, and to Stephanie for putting such an extraordinary program together. We appreciate that as well. Round of applause for all of the people that put this program together, by the way. So I'll leave you with some final comments about passionate, committed community members. That will be the video, and then the lunch will be ended. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I think that the MyTri2030 goal is to give a voice to people who don't think they have a voice.
I think it's all about engagement. I think the more people who ensure that their voices are heard, that ensures that MyTri2030 actually speaks for all of us. Process is just as important as product. And when we make sure that everyone is able to talk about their priorities, their goals, their dreams for themselves, MyTri2030 will end up being something that really reflects our best thinking. It reflects all of us.
Within the different priority areas of MyTri2030, I think we can bring in new voices that we haven't had a chance to discover. Those voices are probably out there, and your background and your experience is incredibly valuable. We just haven't found that chance to say, hey, we'd love you to be a part of this work. And so now if we can raise up this flag, this opportunity, then we can bring people into the same room, have these healthy conversations, and figure out how we can learn from one another and achieve that outcome.
It has been a community-driven process from the beginning and will continue to be as we move forward. Many residents from all the municipalities in the Tri-Cities have participated in this process, and it's still not too late to get involved and help shape the future. This is not a decision that was made by a couple of execs in a closed-door private meeting. It's an ongoing process that really is a vision for all people. Not for the few, not for the privileged, but for all of us.
Well, I think we all have great ideas, and we need to coalesce around an idea. And I think that's where MyTri2030 comes in. It's a group of folks getting together with a common goal, essentially, and a common vision. And we need to coalesce around that vision, and that's what they're driving for. The survey went out to so many of us, and we had a great respondents on the survey. And it's going to take somebody to be the catalyst to drive the vision, and that's what MyTri2030 is doing.
If you're really looking to leave a legacy, if you're looking to have a part into something that will create the vision that you want for yourself or that you want for that next generation in the Tri-Cities, this is a great time to get involved.
The work that we are embarking upon, I would absolutely say this isn't going to be easy work and this isn't going to be quick work, but if we're willing to invest the time and the energy to work together, it's going to be long-term sustainable, and it really will be transformational for our community.
MyTri2030 is the scaffolding to drive collective impact. It challenges us to all come together and dream big dreams and then work together to make those dreams a reality.
That's my total BS answer.
Okay.
It's like I'm thinking of something, I just cannot spit it out.
Okay, that was the warm-up. I'll not flub another one.
And I really can't even remember what the question was, but.